Welcome back to today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, and today my guest is Dr. Andrea Mills, the health enhancement expert, also known as the Detox Doctor. Welcome to the show, Dr. Andrea.
Hey, aloha, Ray. Thanks for having me today.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I know you traveled all the way from Hawaii, which is absolutely amazing. Can't wait to come visit you. Can you share a little bit about what is a health enhancement expert like yourself do?
Yes, I am known as the Detox Doctor, and that's because we unquestionably live in a toxic world. But we don't have to live in a toxic body. And so what I do through a process called detoxing is I rid the body of the toxins that are accumulated in your body and brain.
Amazing, amazing. And I heard the aloha in the beginning.
Yeah.
So can you explain the aloha for those of us that...
I do live in Hawaii on the island of Maui, and I just think it's so beautiful and relaxing there. And I had lived a toxic life myself, so I wanted to find a pristine place to just enjoy and relax life.
And how long have you been in Hawaii?
Over 28 years.
28 years, amazing.
I got stationed there with the Army.
Wow, that's incredible. And thank you so much for your service. And being the Detox Doctor, you live in Hawaii, but you have clients all over the world.
Yes.
And you do retreats and you do events. Share a little bit about, kind of what you do for people.
Right, so the biggest complaint that all doctors say is they do not have patient compliance. And that just means the doctors tell their patients what to do, but the patients go home and don't do it. And so I thought, well, how can we get around this? Let's get everybody together, like I did in the Army, and we're all living together, and I can watch what they're eating, when they exercise, how they do everything. And so that's what I decided to do, as I have a retreat, which sounds better than boot camp. And so we have this lovely retreat, and it's a week long, and we do some things like fasting, but we also, and there's a reason for that. And people get nervous and they're like, oh, I don't want to not eat, I'm going to be hungry. But it isn't like that. We've had people that were raised in an orphanage, and they went to bed without food. And so they made a vow to themselves, I will never starve again. And she was terrified, this one particular patient, of being hungry again. And when she went through the detox retreat and we had her on a fast for 7 days, she was not hungry and couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was neat.
So you're actually putting into action a lot of the things that people should be doing to be healthier, cleansing their body, being detoxed and losing weight and gaining muscle, everything that we want to do to be healthier. But instead of just giving them a recommendation and giving them the steps to do it, you're actually helping them immerse themselves and get used to it, so when they leave the retreat, it makes it simpler for them when they're back home.
Yes, so we give them all the information to take it home with them, but they've experienced it, and I love the word immersed. They have immersed themselves in it, and by doing so, what happens is the mental clarity that they can focus and get rid of the brain fog. They definitely lose weight, which is fantastic, which is a great side effect. That's not why I want people to come. I want people to come to be healthy, but hey, if that's a benefit,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, lose the weight. Anti-aging, they actually reverse the aging process while they're there. And we can prove that using a Class 2 medical device and measure that.
How does that work? Explain to me.
We have a scale. It's called the Omron scale. It measures 7 different areas. So it measures the visceral fat, which is a dangerous fat. It measures the body fat percentage, and it measures your age, the way that your body thinks how old you are.
Like from a cellular level?
Right.
The aging of your actual cells, which is your body composed of.
And it's pretty shocking when you get somebody who's, say, 48 years old, and they get on the scale and it says 78. And whoa, that's a wake-up call.
Wow, this is really interesting, because I've heard, everybody wants to be young as long as possible, right? Everybody wants to be healthy and fit, and detox is obviously one of those main areas, because you have to cleanse yourself before you can start getting healthy. So in this retreat, not only do you teach them, do they immerse themselves, but they actually can see the results that they're getting by doing this?
Yes, because what gets measured gets managed and monitored. So we are measuring all this day one, and then they can see they're losing weight, they're gaining the muscle, right, skeletal muscle, but they're reversing the aging process and releasing the excess fat, because through the body fat percentage, and that's the weight loss is the body fat. But then they're also looking at the visceral fat, which is the dangerous fat, and seeing how that's reversing as well.
Wow, and you said something called brain fog.
Right.
And for me, being an entrepreneur and a business professional, you know, I can't afford to have brain fog. Right. So explain to me a little bit about how, because that alone, I would go to the retreat just to make sure I have zero brain fog and really have clarity, because that's how you can produce more. So kind of share a little bit about how those results come about.
Well, there's two ways that the body can, two types of fuel that the body uses. And it's either sugars or fats. Sugars is the typical way, the typical standard American diet. And that's where you've got carbs and proteins that break down to sugars and that give your body fuel. But you're missing a very important nutrient, and that's fat. And you can also use fat as a fuel. And by doing so, then you're giving your body ketones, your brain ketones, and that's going to have you the mental clarity that you want, as opposed to the glucose or sugars.
And obviously we're talking healthy fats.
Right.
So you teach people what are the good fats that you want to be.
Not donuts and chips.
Got it.
Right.
Which is all sugar, right? So it's,
but there's fats, there's trans fats in that as well.
Got it. Now, besides the retreats where people are immersing themselves, 'cause I know you do it a few times a year in different locations throughout the world, but you also have online availability for people to get this information and learn how to do this in their own homes, right? Can you kind of share a little bit about that?
Yeah, not everybody can get away and break away from work or family obligations, things like that. And so we try to reach more people and have more access to the information that I offer through detoxing and diet and such like that. So we have online programs.
Awesome. So anyone can just plug in, watch the videos, read the different sections, and learn how to do what you teach in your retreats as well.
Exactly. And everybody learns in different levels: video, audio, reading. So we have all these different ways that they can learn how to detox properly and the proper diet for them.
And after your events, and if people have been on your online programs, I know some people have special questions or need special attention. I know you offer limited, but you offer some private coaching as well?
We do offer private coaching, private consultations with myself or my team, which the team costs a little less. They don't have all their doctorate degrees like I do, but they're very helpful. They've been through the programs a lot, and it's just an accountability partner for them, so that's really good. But then we also have an online community through Facebook and through Voxer, and that's a great way to stay in touch with everyone that way as well.
I love the word accountability. And in business and in anything that you're trying to accomplish, accountability is key. So the fact that you guys have that in your program and you've created a community to support each other, I think that's phenomenal, because it's really about getting your end result, right? And if people want to get healthier, want to get more fit, want to lose weight, whatever it is, you need to be able to utilize all the resources to accomplish that. So I love that you've kind of put all those pieces together, so whatever amount of assistance they need, it's available.
Right.
So that's great.
A lot of people will try detoxing at home on their own without a professional helping them. And what happens is they can release the toxins, but then they're released throughout the body, and they were in a nice safe storage spot, and now they're in the bloodstream, possibly crossing the blood-brain barrier, and they just don't leave the body. It makes the person very sick. It's called a Herxheimer reaction. So what we do is we use the binders, because the toxins are positively charged and the binders are negatively charged, and they'll pull the toxins out of the body the whole way. And then there's certain binders for certain areas. You want something small like alpha lipoic acid to cross the blood-brain barrier, and then maybe a nanoparticle like a zeolite to cross intracellular. But then you'd want your heavier binders in the gut like bentonite clay or activated charcoal. And so this is why it's important to have a professional helping you detox and doing it properly, safely, and effectively.
Well, I definitely will agree because I understood probably about 10% of what you just shared right now. So clearly you are an expert in what you do, and you've been doing this for many years and helped thousands of people. If someone wants to learn more about your programs, your retreats, or get in contact with you, what would be the best way to do that?
Well, the best way to reach me is on my website, drandreamills360.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Dr. Andrea. I look forward to visiting you in Hawaii in one of your retreats.
Yes.
So hopefully that invitation is still there. And thank you all for joining us on today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, reminding you to never leave for tomorrow what you can do today and always stay true to your brand.